Hi, today we've got Sarah from Surrey. How are you, Sarah?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good. Enjoying this cold weather?
Oh, yes.
Personally, I like it because it's what I call proper cold and not the damp cold of England.
Yes,
So it's the proper cold that I'm used to.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourself then, Sarah. Tell us about your stroke and how your stories evolved from when you had your stroke up until we got to the glorious lockdown.
Well, in 2018, I was going to a surgeon because I had a lump in my I had a lump in my womb, so it had to be taken out. So he was I was going to a different hospital. Mm-hmm. Because I was going to have robotic. It was robotic thingies. No, robotic arms. That.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So it was going to be all washed out and never say never.
Sure.
So I was in the queue for a long time, but eventually they did the surgery on the 22nd, I think, of May, and then unfortunately, because I didn't have a drug in the interim, I had a stroke 2 days after the hysterectomy. So it was to be honest, I didn't have a clue what was going on. So unfortunately, it was my sister and my wife that had the unfortunate things. But
gosh.
So I was in hospital for 5 weeks. At that point, I couldn't speak. I hated that. I hated it because I couldn't say everything I wanted to say to my family and my friends. And I think the most I came up with was a rude word in yeah. So I did 5 weeks in hospital, and then I did 5 weeks in rehab in Ted Bradley unit, which is an amazing place. And it's bro, it was really, really good. They taught me how to say a little bit more than rude word. And and then I came out of there and I was straight into radiotherapy and chemotherapy. So that was right up until February in 2019. And then from there, I've got to pick my life up again. How do you do that? Well, it's a bit of a pain.
It is.
I had the early release team, which was good. The early release stroke team, so they came over once a week, sorting OT and physio out. Yeah. Then I was pretty determined to get back to work. Now, from saying only one word in hospital to must have been about May, I was determined that I wanted to have a speech to help me, obviously to help me to communicate, but also to help me to you would tell people, you could tell people what's happened to you. Don't know.
To explain that you've had a stroke and everything. Yeah.
Exactly. So I had a speech therapist out of she is a friend of my cousin's, so she's brilliant. I have had her. She's been with me since sometime last year. June might have been.
Yeah.
But she's brilliant. She's really good. She is. But then when I got back to work, I said, we had a disability week at work, and I said, I want to tell everyone about aphasia.
Yeah.
Rona came with me from Discover, and she would tell she was there to help me.
Yeah.
And I had probably about 50 people.
Wow.
in the room, and I did my thing, Rona did her thing, and I was really impressed that so many people learned about aphasia.
That's fantastic.
And hopefully the a border force. So with working for Border Force, I'm hoping to be in the newspaper magazine.
Yeah.
And I'll be able to tell everyone about aphasia then.
Well, I think it's, the more people we can tell, the better, because it's, until it happens to you, we've probably, none of us have heard of it,
3% of people have heard of aphasia.
Gosh.
And that was something I learnt on Wednesday.
Wow. That's quite terrifying, and it's the having a stroke throws up so many different issues for a lot of people, but I think aphasia is a very main one for everybody, because like you say, it's the basis for communication, with whoever you want to talk to, whether it be medical professions or your family or your friends or what have you. And to have it taken away from you, I only lost my speech while I was having my stroke, but that was scary enough. That short period of time, I went to open my mouth and realised nothing would come out, not even a grunt, nothing would come out, and that scared me briefly. So for a lot of people, it carries on for an awful lot longer. I can imagine how frustrating it must be. You just want to sit there and shout at people. You're probably shouting at them in your head.
Oh, yes.
And I think it's important that people know, and I think, they've got to realise, take yourself, you've done so well from not being able to speak to speaking brilliantly now, but there are times we all lose the word we want to come out, and people have just got to learn that you just need time to get it out and what have you. Don't try and put words in your mouth, because that makes it worse. That confuses the issue even more, etc. So I think that's brilliant. So you mentioned Wednesday. Tell us about what you went to or what you attended on Wednesday. You don't go to anything, do you? What you attended on Wednesday?
Well, I went to a forum, an aphasia forum.
Yeah.
It's one of 3 that will happen in successive months. And it was to tell people how unfamiliar the word aphasia is.
Yes.
With everybody. I've got a really good wife. She's good. My sister is not good. She will talk over me and interrupt, and so I don't mind. I don't mind for little bits.
Yeah.
But sometimes I will not shout, but I will express myself.
Like siblings do to each other. In a friendly way, of course.
Of course. Only because I can't beat her up anymore. My mother is exactly the same as my sister, and my father doesn't speak at all. So it's pretty good. But when you're talking to friends, you say, well, if you wait for me,
Yeah.
I will hopefully get out the word that I want.
Yeah.
But you've really got to, you can say it and say it and say it and say it again, but sometimes some people just don't listen.
Yes, exactly. And that's, frustrating in itself, isn't it? It's because we need that time to try. It's in there, but it's just getting it from there to there sometimes. It takes 5-10 minutes, half an hour sometimes, or not at all, even. If you're really tired, it just doesn't happen. So who was involved in this forum?
So there was Speakeasy, Discover, and Speak Up were the three main participants. But it was really good, really good. It was presented by Lucy Allard, who has aphasia, but it's a lot better than mine is. So it doesn't sound like she doesn't have a lot of problems when talking.
Okay.
But it was a week. She the presentation was done in a friendly, in a aphasia friendly format. So it was it was bullet points on the slides, and she talked along the bullet points and explained them all the way. After that, there was a discussion from I think I was in we were sent into breakout groups, and then I was with a couple of people who I'd never met, but it was brilliant because you could say what you wanted, and everybody was talking about the same thing and everything, and everything was really good, really good.
It sounds like a really relaxed environment, if that's how you felt, which is what everybody needs, don't they?
Yeah.
And there's it's not just speaking with aphasia. People can have problems with reading or writing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that affects you, but it's affected. I can still read, but writing, well, we've just got to take each day as it comes. Thank goodness for phones and computers and things that'll tell you when you spelt something wrong. Mm-hmm. Or your sentence composition is a lot of gobbledygook and what have you, which is but it's little things like that you know, still frustrate you enough. You
Mm.
know, it's because you were quite capable beforehand, you
Yeah.
know, and then all of a sudden you're having to get used to this new way of doing things.
Yeah.
Um, that is,
Yes.
okay, that's
A little annoying.
that's a good phrase. That's a good phrase. Oh, that sounds like a good forum. It's nice to know these things are out there. So you mentioned being put into breakout rooms, which is something similar to what you've experienced with different strokes before, because you've come on one of our networking sessions.
Yeah.
Which are taking off. We've got into those through our conference, because we put people into breakout rooms during the conference just to talk with one another, small groups and everything, and people could say what they wanted, what was said in the group stays in the group kind of thing. So we've taken that one step forward, and I know you attended one of them. Did you find it useful for yourself to talk to other stroke survivors?
Yes. Oh my goodness. It is such a wide community out there. It's amazing.
You just don't realise, do you, how wide,
no.
unfortunately, how wide a community it is.
Yeah. Yes. It's unfortunately it's getting wider. I don't know. I don't know if oh, there goes the ambulance. Yeah. So with that, it was amazing to speak to people. If in the group.
And I think, speaking to people in a similar situation to ourselves helps everybody. Hopefully it's helped them, it helps us realise that we're not on our own. Mm-hmm. And I think you can't beat talking to people face to face. It's better than the telephone. And as we can't meet up, I know there's several different strokes groups around the country, but if you haven't got one locally, and obviously we can't meet up at the moment, I think it's a good thing that we've got this, and it's completely voluntary. So if people want to come along, they can. It's there for them. We could, the facilities there. If we got 100 people, we could cope with that maybe. But it's nice that we're getting some regulars coming back. So hopefully, they are getting something out of it, and it's about making new friends, I think, as well, isn't it?
Exactly.
So it's good. So if anyone's interested, have a look at our website and our Facebook groups, and all the dates and times are on there. So
it's definitely worth it.
Yeah. How have you found lockdown? How's lockdown been for you?
Well, it's I don't know. It's really weird because I'm at home and that's pretty much I have a computer at work, from work.
Yeah.
And a phone. So if I need to, I can contact my work colleagues.
That's good.
But
oh,
you don't want to be on the phone because you have aphasia. You don't want to be on the phone because you don't want to be on the phone. So I've been put on to work half-time, so I can just come and go and as much or as little as I want, I think.
Well, that's good, because then you can tie it into how you're feeling. So if some days, something has really tired you out, you don't need to push yourself, I presume.
Mm-hmm.
You can just, pick it up when you're ready to pick it up.
Yeah.
Which helps you out, doesn't it?
Yeah. But no, apart from that, I have no feelings apart from lockdown. I don't. I must admit, I'm on. I have an antidepressant, so it kind of keeps me fairly simple, fairly level.
Yes, on an even keel.
So yeah, it's one of those. Oh my goodness! I was just about to say one of my grandmother's things. It's one of those things. one of those things. Yeah, but I'm in a house with my wife. She's upstairs, tapping away, and yeah, it's really good.
Well, one good thing I like about lockdown is it's not so peoply out there. If you go out shopping, and you don't have to talk to people. That's what I love. You've got less chance of bumping into somebody and having to speak to them. My husband and I went to Costco one day, and it was the end of the day and I was tired. I'd had enough. I'd been working. I might have even done one of these interviews, but we're standing in the queue 2 meters apart, obviously. And I could see the girl at the checkout was a chatty girl, and she was chat to the people in front of us. And I turned around and said to my husband, if she starts talking, you'll have to do the talking. I can't cope with it. I said, or I'll walk off, because you just, the thought of making small talk, you don't mind talking to people, and you want to talk to, but the thought of just, taking up some of my energy to talk small talk with somebody that I didn't need to. I've come in here to buy whatever it was I was buying. Let me pay for it.
Yeah.
Let me go.
Let me go. Thank you very much.
That sounds really miserable, actually, doesn't it?
At the end of the day, you have to do what is right for you.
Yeah.
Because if people harass you with lots of noise, you're gonna be. To be honest, I'm awful when I'm out. If someone's talking, I will give my wife a what's up with that person over the eyes. So, no.
It's so that's one thing we're all going to have to cope with, is people again.
No, I don't. I think I'll stay inside. Thank you.
That's it. But that's another good thing. People can't turn up on your doorstep to,
I know.
to come in either. That's a result.
Someone came in to drop off a birthday card for me, and I said, you're right at the gate, and that's it.
Yeah.
She wanted to come in. No. I'm sorry.
At least we've got an excuse now to say no. You have to say that. And then you make the excuse that the phone's ringing, or you need to go to the bathroom or something like that. Oh dear.
The cat's annoying me. Oh, I've just got to go.
Yes. Oh dear, result. So with work, when do you hope to get back to work? Or are you going to keep on working from home, do you think? Or
unfortunately, I've come to the realization that I can't do work.
Okay.
So I'm in the middle of doing a ill health retirement. So I don't want to give up work. Yeah. I love my work, but I can't do it. It's obviously, you see a border force officer and they're at the front line talking to the people as they come. I can't do that. So I was, so unfortunately I can't do it anymore. So
that's a shame, because you know, that looks like a fantastic job. I've watched it on the telly and I think I'd love that.
I love talking to people. I mean, I worked in Belfast for a long time, and you could have conversations about everything with these people, and there wasn't you wait, there are loads of people waiting, but you got to have a conversation with people. So, and that is the work. That's the work I miss.
Yeah, and you've got to be a bit of a detective as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
That's what I love, watching how they work out what's truth and what's not truth, and you know, catching people out and what have you. Or it sounds like a fascinating job.
Yeah,
I'm sure there must be some way that you could still work without maybe being on the front line.
I'm in an office, and even that is quite tiring.
Yeah.
And it's annoying. Yeah. That I can't do it, but I've got to realize that I can't do it and say thank you very much, but no.
Yeah. And you've got all your memories of, and I bet stories as well.
No.
From when you did do it. But that's for another interview. Oh, but it's, you know, you've got to look after number one, which is you. You've got to do what's right for you and everything, haven't you, at the end of the day?
Exactly.
So, well, thank you very much for talking to us today, Sarah. And I can't wait to hear some of your stories. But that
there'll
might
be
not
a book.
be
There'll be a book in the future.
I tell you what, I bet you could write one. There's your next challenge. Writing a book. The laptop will correct it all for you.
Yeah.
And you can swear at the laptop if you want.
Yeah,
it won't mind
absolutely.
bad words. Well, thanks again, Sid, and we look forward to that book coming out. Thank you.
Thanks.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye. Bye.